Tonight, Las Vegas residents are donating more than just food and water in the wake of yesterday's shooting.
And President Donald Trump visits the islands of Puerto Rico.
Also, the United States government kicks 15 Cuban diplomats out of Washington. Murrow 8 News starts right now.
From Studio B on the campus of Washington State University, this is Pullman's only nightly newscast. This is Murrow News 8.
Good evening, I'm Majestic Storm.
And I'm Irish Concepcion. Welcome to Murrow News 8.
The death toll of the massive shooting in Las Vegas is now 59, with over 500 injured. The names of the victims have not been released as police continue to process the scene and inform families. 3 of the victims have yet to be identified. So far in the investigation, police have found 23 firearms in the Mandalay Bay hotel room where Stephen Paddock opened fire at the crowd below. 19 other firearms were found in this home. Some of the fire rifles were modified to be fully automatic. Police are working to determine Paddock's motive on this horrific attack. In response to the shooting, Las Vegas residents and visitors show support for victims by donating more than just food and water. People have been donating blood to help victims who are being hospitalized and are in need of blood after the attack. Las Vegas police published a list of donation centers on Twitter. The blood banks had lines that stretched for nearly 3 blocks in some places. Spokeswoman for the United Blood Service, Julie Scott, said the blood donations are saving patients' lives.
People across the globe are reacting to the Las Vegas shooting that nearly killed 60 people yesterday. Last night in the United States, the Empire State Building and the Space Needle dimmed down their lights in honor of those who were killed. Even 5,000 miles away from the shooting scene, the mayor of Paris ordered that the Eiffel Tower lights be turned off to honor victims of both the Las Vegas shooting and Marseille stabbing, which occurred just the day before. Investigators found multiple videos of women being decapitated alive, the hard drive of the Danish inventor accused of murdering Swedish journalist Kim Wall. Wall disappeared after interviewing Peter Madsen aboard his homemade submarine. Traces of Madsen's DNA has been recovered from Wall's body, but he denies killing Wall. Prosecutors believe that Madsen dismembered her body before throwing her into the sea. Madsen denies that he killed her, claiming that he was not the only person with access to his computer and the extreme content does not belong to him.
2 students were injured when they jumped over the fence and into the field after WSU's upset victory against the USC Trojans on Friday night. One student suffered a broken ankle, while another suffered an undisclosed leg injury. Both students were taken to Pullman Regional Hospital via ambulance. After the game, injuries like this often occur when students storm the field. The injuries received at the game are not the only pain students are dealing with. The Pac-12 is slapping the Cougs once again with another fine after the tense Friday night game ended with a last-minute WSU field goal to clinch a win. Students stormed the field as the clock was still ticking. According to the Pac-12 rules, the crowd must wait until the opposing team is safely off the field. They require 60 seconds, but was not given that time as the Cougs ran onto the field that night. The fine is $25,000.
Evergreen State College is sanctioning about 80 students for breaking the student conduct code during the race-related protests held on campus in May. Students interrupted classes at the college and demanded the firing of Professor Brett Weinstein after he criticized an optional annual event designed to show the impact of minority students on campus, calling the event an act of oppression. Moscow will no longer celebrate Columbus Day, but instead will recognize Indigenous Peoples Day, the second Monday of October. The name change was requested by chairman of the Moscow Human Rights Commission after his group acknowledged that Columbus is a symbol of genocide. The city council approved this change after a 5-to-1 vote. Moscow was the first city in Idaho to make this change. Coming up, President Donald Trump makes his first visit to Puerto Rico after Hurricane Maria.
And Cuba diplomats are kicked out of the U.S. What does this mean for foreign relations?
Mom, can we get some ice cream?
Please, Mom, please.
No, we're having dinner soon.
Please. You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. There are thousands of children in foster care who will take you just as you are.
Dad's home!
The smallest moments can have the biggest impact on a child's life. Take time to be a dad today.
President Trump is visiting the storm-ravaged Puerto Rico today. Nearly 2 weeks after Hurricane Maria, many are without power and struggling to get food and water. Ricardo Rossello, Puerto Rico's governor, hopes the president's visit will garner more federal aid. Rossello says
all federal agencies are working tirelessly, but we all recognize that we need to do a lot more.
Rossello says there needs to be consistent funding to fully help the residents of the island struggling to recover. Trump is facing backlash for the slow response to the devastating hurricane. Only about a quarter of households are expected to regain power by next month. Although some power is expected to be restored by the end of the month, destroyed infrastructure and impassable roads make it difficult for the little transportation the island has to deliver supplies. About half of the island still does not have running water, and about 95% of the island remains without power. The lack of electricity denies 1.3 million Puerto Ricans receiving food stamps from using the benefit, due to stores not having working computers.
15 Cuban diplomats from the embassy in Washington are being kicked out of the country in response to mysterious illnesses affecting American embassy personnel in Havana. Many are suffering hearing loss, fatigue, and some are even hearing odd sounds in particular rooms of their homes. This is leading some experts to believe that some kind of sonic weapon device may have been at fault. This action was taken to force Cubans to operate under the same emergency condition that the United States is now operating under in Havana. The Cuban diplomats have 7 days to be out of the U.S. A majority vote for Catalonia to become an independent nation in Europe is stirring questions about the future of Spain. Today in Madrid, during a public address, King Felipe of Spain spoke out about the Catalonia referendum. He reiterated that it was unconstitutional to Spanish law, noting the voting process did not exactly follow the democratic practices of Spain.
They have challenged the sovereignty of Spain and the right of everybody to democratically exercise their vote. So this is a situation of extreme gravity.
The king made no comments about whether or not the Spanish government will approve Catalonia's independence anytime soon.
The Supreme Court is beginning a session of landmark cases this week. One of those cases is unfair political redistricting in Wisconsin. Democratic voter of Wisconsin believed Republicans unfairly drew maps to enrich their control over the legislature. Republicans say the court doesn't have a place in the issue with the political branches of government. The court appears to be deeply divided on the issue. Justice Kennedy wondered if the challengers even had the right to bring the case to the court. Yet he also showed sympathy over the rights being violated by extreme partisan gerrymandering. Yahoo announced today that a data breach that occurred in the year 2013 has affected upward of 3 billion people. The original breach was announced in December 2016 and was thought to impact 1 billion people. The Justice Department said that the Russian hackers were responsible for the attack and that the criminal charges have been filed. Even though the hackers did steal private data, they did not steal anyone's credit card or bank information. This is the largest known hacker of users' data in the world history. It's been a chilly day today, and on your way to class, it's been so cold with the freezing temperatures. Stay here for good.
Nick Bartlett joins us to give you the weather forecast after the break.
Don't worry, 74 people were picked before me in the NFL draft.
To fight childhood obesity, United Way and the NFL are helping kids play at least 60 minutes a day.
Okay,
time for the team obstacle course.
What this place needs is more healthy kids. To get involved or donate, go to unitedway.org/play60.
Now I get it.
No more pencils, no more books. No more teachers, dirty looks.
School's out!
For summer.
What this place needed was better graduation rates. So we worked with schools like Henry Ford High, and now they're up 18%.
To help us do more good this year, go to unitedway.org because great things happen when we live united.
The temperature is a little bit chilly, but at least the sun is still out and shining bright.
I definitely enjoyed the sun today, but it feels a little bit like jacket weather to me. Let's check in with Nick for the forecast.
Well, Majestic, I've always preferred a jacket over a vest over a jacket, and so we'll actually start with today's weather. And so, as you can see, today's high will be 60 degrees. It'll be a little bit chillier tonight. I might recommend wearing a jacket, closing up the windows, that sort of thing. And as we move on to tomorrow's forecast, we will see that it's very similar weather again. It's quite chilly in the morning. You might want to have a jacket ready. During the middle of the day, it's going to heat up a little bit more, be a little bit warmer. And at nighttime, again, it's definitely going to cool down and not be so lovely. And as we switch to the state map, over here in Seattle, you can see it's a little bit higher temperature than it is in Pullman. It's 67 degrees. It will also not be as cold at night. In Olympia, it's actually a little bit warmer than Seattle, but will get quite chilly at night. As we step over to the east side of the map here, Pullman at a nice 60 degrees, as previously mentioned. Yakima is a little bit warmer. And let's move up to the 5-day forecast really quick here. And so on your 5-day forecast, it's going to be lovely on Thursday, Friday, nice, beautiful, sunny weather. As we get to Saturday, it's going to be cloudy, and after that, it's going to stay sunny. That's your weather forecast.
On Wednesdays, we wear pink. Can you name that movie?
Well, it's only Tuesday, but I'm wearing pink in celebration of a social media holiday. After the break, we will tell you which one.
Thank you. You got a king?
Go fish.
The smallest moments can have the biggest impact on a child's life. Take time to be a dad today.
Don't worry, 74 people were picked before me in the NFL draft.
To fight childhood obesity, United Way and the NFL are helping kids play at least 60 minutes a day.
Okay, time for the team obstacle course.
What this place needs is more healthy kids. To get involved or donate, go to unitedway.org/play60.
Now I get it.
It's National Mean Girls Day. Fans of the flick celebrate today because of the movie's quote, "It's October 3rd." When you log on to Twitter, Facebook, or Instagram, don't be surprised if your feed is infested with GIFs and memes of Lindsay Lohan googly-eyeing Jonathan Bennett.
In spirit of the National Mean Girls Day, the cast of the movie urges their fans to help fundraise for the victims of Las Vegas. Fans are encouraged to donate at least $3 to the Mean Girls for Las Vegas fundraiser on GoFundMe. The page was created yesterday and has raised $10,000. Thanks for joining us tonight, and we'll see you tomorrow. That's Murrow News 8.